this road's slippery here. Put my feet down, I could barely keep my feet on the deck. Got to bear that in mind, of course, given that these roads haven't seen rain for a long time. They are going to be slippery. Just going to have to ease everything down a bit. Not that we were riding wildly yesterday, but we haven't got those hot, sticky roads that we had. Quite the opposite. So I was talking yesterday about the language in Portugal, Portuguese, of course, and how it sounds really odd and how we're going to get used to that, to my ear, Eastern European sounding language, even though it's obviously closer to Spanish than it is Russian or anything like that. It just sounds odd to me when I hear native speakers speak it. But last night in the hotel, the serving staff there were just absolutely fantastic, and at no point did I hear any Portuguese being spoken. It was all in English, so have no fears on the language front. If you fancy coming out and you're staying in hotels and stuff, it seems everybody speaks English, of course, so there really isn't an issue there. And they're only too keen to teach you a bit of Portuguese if you fancy it as well. I had no idea, for example, with my obrigado, which works if you're a man, there are apparently certain instances where obrigada is the thing to say if you're a woman. So I can't remember the detail now. I think obrigado works pretty much in all cases, but anyway, the staff there were quite keen to teach us the nuances, but I'm afraid maybe alcohol may have fogged the memory slightly on that one. Talking of which, the wines were fantastic last night. Is it me, or is this rain getting a bit less and it looks a little bit brighter in the direction we're travelling? Keeping everything crossed. Well, I'm glad to say it's pretty much stopped raining, which is excellent. The roads look a bit dry here. I've had a fiddle with the electronics on the bike. I'm not particularly familiar with all the nuances of the TFT on the GS, because my GS, being a 2013 model, still old school and got the old analogue dials on it. I've set this up now so that the GPS is showing the stuff that I would show on mine, stuff that I find useful. And the thing to note is the temperature. Look at that, 21.5, so much better for riding in than that 38 I think we peaked at yesterday. Interesting that the bike says 22, but that says 21.5, so I don't know where the sensors are. Maybe there's a sensor in the sat-nav as well as the bike, don't know. And also there's a slight discrepancy as well on the speed that they both show, but those sort of things just interest me as I go along. But here we are at Vendas Novas, welcomed with a howitzer on the roundabout. Interesting. Aha, look at this, there's some sort of barracks, Regimento di Artilleria. More guns. Obviously going to be some sort of military event on there later on. Got a stage set up, more guns. Should have done my research. Hello, where's Dom taking us to now? And are we allowed to go there, more importantly? Seeing a photo opportunity, I think. So it turns out there was some sort of event here yesterday, and they're actually breaking down the stage here, but little fairground, that sort of thing going on, and even more howitzers, so obviously quite proud of it. Turns out this place is some sort of military base. So it makes complete sense that there's a load of guns welcoming you to the village after all. Well, I say village, town. So the other thing I've noticed about this town again, that I commented on yesterday actually, is that there's no really big buildings in terms of multi-storey. They're all quite low level, aren't they? Like 2 stories only. Must be a planning thing. Look at that little beast. Nasty looking little thing, isn't he? I won't play with him. Or her. Alright, that was just a little comfort break really. A little Rule 1 stop. Just going to head off now and find ourselves a little coffee shop somewhere. It's a nice and easy day today. Number one, it being a bit cooler, it makes life a lot easier. And then we haven't got massive distances to cover, so looking forward to the Vasco da Gama bridge shortly. That's, I think I'm right in saying, the longest bridge in Europe, actually. I need to look up the details on that, so that should be good. But that's in half an hour or so, I think. Uh-oh, a few telltale signs up ahead. Look, the cars coming on have got their headlights on. And check out that sky up ahead. wondering how wise it was for some of the crew to have taken their waterproof kit off on that last stop. Anyway, we shall see. Might be hastily putting it back on again. Rather seriously decorated roundabout there. Grape growing area perhaps. And time for a coffee stop. So time for a quick coffee stop. I've been following Helen on the lower GS. How have you been getting on with it?
It's great, I really love it.
Look, you look far more confident on it than you do even on your own bike, to be honest.
I am.
I think.
It's much better, it's easier to ride.
You'll be buying one soon.
I think so.
Well, our timing was perfect. We've just finished our coffee stop and now look what's happening. Nicely done. Dom's obviously prepared. Hang on, just turn around a second. That's not good, is it? That's, yeah, you could have a wet arse, but anyway. Good luck with that. Ah, Portugal in the summer, eh? Can't beat it. Just shows you folks, there's no guarantees, are there, about weather? What a contrast from yesterday. Still 21 degrees, so it's pleasantly warm, but yeah, we could do without the stuff falling out of the sky. However, much needed coffee break has perked us up. Now we're heading towards the capital, Lisbon. And I'm pleased to say the rain has stopped. And the Ponte de Vasco de Gama is showing up on the sign, so we haven't got long now until the bridge. Okay, so we're just in the environs of Lisbon now, or Lisboa, as the locals correctly call it, of course. What should we be doing? Should we be talking about, should we pronounce towns and cities the way that locals do, like the BBC have started doing, or do we give them the anglicised version? I don't know. Do we start calling Paris Paris? I don't know. Anyway, we'll go with Lisbon, shall we? We all know what we're talking about. Anyway, we're on the approaches to the Ponte de Vasco de Gama now. It is a toll bridge, and I think what's going to happen is Dom is basically going to stop and pay and wave each of us through the barrier, and then we get to ride over the longest toll bridge in Europe, I believe. So that's pretty exciting. Just coming up to the toll plaza now. Looks like it's €2.90 for a motorcycle to cross. Working like a well-oiled machine. Thank you, nice lady. Obviously done this before. Just Dom now. Let's give the little 3D camera, 360 camera wipe. Maybe get some views off the bridge, but I'm not thinking that the visibility is going to be up to much. This inclement weather has taken a bit of a turn for the nasty again, but hey ho. Oh yeah, wow. Had it been a clear day, it's a pretty impressive sight, this bridge across here. Look at this. I wonder how they cope with their shipping. Although having said that, it goes into looking at the GPS map, it's basically the harbour. If I zoom out on the nav, there we go, there's the Atlantic on our left, and then the inlet to this massive harbour inside, and the bridge that we're about to go over, and Lisbon is just to the north of that on the other bank. Reminds me of the bridge, you know, the one from Denmark into Sweden. That sort of deal. Oh, fantastic, we're getting it all today. So first the bridge, now a bit of tunnel action. What more could you want? It's very exciting. So having driven through the flatlands of Portugal before, it seems that Lisbon is built basically on a series of hills. We'll be going through various tunnels and then coming out into valleys again that are built up. And now we're just, I think we're just about to exit the main area of the city as we head towards Cascais, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which I probably aren't. And yeah, it's quite hilly again. Alrighty, next stop then is our lunch stop, and that is a cafe or restaurant on the beach. So we're heading to the coast. Splendid! And there ahead of us, a very inviting looking Atlantic Ocean. Inviting not, goodness me, it's blowing a hoolie over there. I'm sure on a nice day it's beautiful. The beach, yay! So this is Portugal. This is what all the fuss is about. The sea. It's like a bit of a castle up here. Bit of volleyball, not a lot of action today. Too windy for that game. Oh, what a shame. It would be absolutely gorgeous along here on a nice day. I bet yesterday it was absolutely packed. Oh well. Lunchtime awaits, says Lyndon in the van with our kit in. So here we are. I think this is known as Cascais, something like that. This is one of the premier beaches in Portugal. Unfortunately, not today. Anyway, let's get in, see what the food's like. Right, well, excellent lunch had in this pastery pizzeria place. We're going to go outside and have a look at the sea because it's blowing a hoolie out here. Check this out. Holy moly. Yep, it's certainly windy. Back on the bikes, let's see how it affects our riding. Alright, thank you Capricciosa. That was an excellent restaurant, excellent pizza and pasta place. I really enjoyed that. Right, let's hit the road again. Right, last leg, I think, as we go towards our hotel tonight, which looks pretty special, so looking forward to seeing what that is like. But we're going to go via a slightly circuitous route because we're going to go via the most westerly point of Portugal. And that's the bit, I think, with the cliffs and the sea, etc. It's going to be a bit breezy, I think, up there. But hopefully, with the weather looking like it's cleared up a little bit, we will actually get some half decent views. Wow, the sea is really giving it some today in the wind. Amazing how different this would have been yesterday in that glorious, still 38-degree sunshine. Oh, but it was absolutely packed as well. Just shows you it's not always glorious on the Algarve, if indeed this counts as the Algarve, I'm not sure. Right, quick photo stop for Dom there. Looks like the local surf school's out. My goodness me, they're going to have quite a day in those waves. I hope they're good surfers. They're just tracking along the coast here. Of course, this being the Atlantic Ocean as opposed to the Mediterranean. They're looking pretty wild today. Not sure I want to be surfing in there. So these Velocidade Controlada signs that says 50, you see, it's interesting. If you go over 50 and they spot you, it turns the traffic lights red. You see, we were doing just over 50 as we passed it. Now they've gone green again. So it's a way of controlling the speed down the road. If you break the speed limit, you're penalised by being stopped. So it's very clever. Never knew that's what that meant, but Dom told us that earlier, and because we got stopped earlier at one that said 70, and I think we went past at 72 or something, and we stopped. It's like, why are there traffic lights here? For no other reason. It's just to slow you down. Pretty good system, I reckon. Impressive port in Cascais there, or KK. I'm so sorry about my pronunciations, that's all I can say. Looks nice though, even on a day like today. Nice part of town. sea to my left is going wild. Probably can't see it with a GoPro, but it's absolutely smashing against the rocks down there. Wow, that looks wild. It's just a boiling frenzy. I know. Never seen anything like that.
Oh, we've got to go and see that.
Never seen anything like that.
Oh, I've never seen anything like that. Oh my goodness me.
This is something else, the sea here. Can I get you off, Carol? Look at that sea, it is unbelievable. No wonder there's a lighthouse there. Incredible.
This is the most west point there.
Ah?
This is the most west point.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Incredible.
So it's super windy here. You may not be able to hear me very well in the wind, but just check out the sea here. I might have to get the iPhone on this to show you. Check this out. Just the most massive seas I've ever seen. Absolutely incredible. The sea here just is something else. I mean, this is the most westerly point of Portugal, so you've got the full force of the Atlantic coming ashore here. But just look at these rocks getting an absolute battering. Amazing, isn't it?
Amazing, isn't it? Look at that.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
I've never seen the sea like that.
No, I haven't.
I want to be in it.
No, you don't mess with the sea.
You bloody don't. Look at it. Jesus. Well, that was quite something, that. Let's get up on the road if I can, because it's a bit tricky getting off of here. We follow John, who'll make it look easily. But he hasn't got somebody on the back. That's my excuse anyway. Right, just get our ordering back. There we go. Would be an amazing view if it wasn't foggy, I'm sure. Anyway, Sintra, where we're heading, is on the top of this hill, apparently. So I think we're going to cut inland a little bit before we get towards it. And there's good news and bad. The good news is Lyndon's gone ahead, scouted out a hotel. It's apparently absolutely amazing, so that's great. The downside is it's up a really gnarly hill with some tight and twisty cobblestones with the sorts of blind T-junctions that you really don't want to be taking big bikes on. So we're going to try and find somewhere at the bottom we can leave the bikes, then we're going to get up to the hotel separately. So that's the next challenge. So let's see what this next and final leg of day 3, I think it is, brings. So I'm guessing this is prime tourist real estate, just not today. Some lovely places we just passed, villas and things on the seafront, which you can imagine on a beautiful summer's day would be something else, but on this particular summer's day, maybe not so much. Right, we're gaining some altitude now as we climb up towards the clouds. Let's turn from TFT to nav mode, see what our elevation is. 134 metres and climbing, given we were just at the sea, at sea level. It's not bad doing. Aha, wet cobbles, brilliant. Oh, this is all rather splendid. Check this out. Smells beautiful through here. Wow, what a lovely road. So this is the town of Sintra, where we're staying tonight, or it's the outskirts of. Looks very beautiful even in this somewhat grim weather that we're having. Just need to find somewhere now to leave the bike securely so we can make our way up the hill to the hotel. Right, so our plan B, Dom has got creative, flagged down a local tuk-tuk that's going to take Carol up because it will make it a bit easier, and we may be able to do it one up, whereas two up it's going to be tricky. So what could possibly go wrong? Right, there goes the tuk-tuk with Carol on board, and they're off. Well, this is a beautiful part of the world, that's for sure. Might be just a bit nadgery on a large motorbike, but well, I think Dom's working on the principle that if you can get a tuk-tuk down there, you should be able to get a motorcycle, so that's fair enough. Although of course the tuk-tuk's not so much affected by wet cobblestones as we are. But the tuk-tuk driver does know the area well, and he said that the hotel's amazing, so that's good. I can actually hear the tuk-tuk driver through Carol's intercom, which is still switched on. Which annoyingly hasn't worked the whole trip, but is now. Oh wow, look at that place. Look at that splendid building. So apparently we're nearly there. This is the last bit of the adventure of today. Get to our hotel. It is pretty tight up here, but so far doable.